The following video has been created without the use of AI. Please support your human content creators by liking the video and commenting something down below. Subscribing is optional. Now please, enjoy the show.
You were on your knees, fighting to get enough air into your lungs as you reeled and coughed. The smell of blood and rotten flesh clung to you like a curse. If you had known that fighting Frankie would go out with a bloodbath, you definitely would not have come. Your above-average parkour skills be damned. And that stupid outfit was sticking to your body like a second wet skin. Shaking, your right hand turned into a fist. You had survived the first few rooms, and you survived the surprise attack in the beginning. You slammed the ground. The white floor was grimy and covered in semi-dried blood. "Contestant, the door's right in front of you!" You heard the jolly voice of the announcer. Your deadpan was hidden by the Frankie mask. Yeah, okay, but you needed a break. A moment to yourself, to breathe and... "I don't want to disqualify you! You know what happens when that happens!" Quickly you gathered your thoughts. On shaking legs you stood up. Looking at your hand covered in blood, you had an idea. Making sure the announcer's camera was in view, you moved your bloody hand over the wall, writing, "I gotta take a whiz." Once done, you took a step to the side. Of course, you didn't need to use the bathroom, but getting your heart to pump normally again for a few moments, the thought alone felt like a godsend. An audible hum came from the speakers. "I suppose we can put a little intermission on. Don't want your performance to suffer due to a full bladder. Let's have the audience vote on that." Angrily slapped the wall, leaving behind a handprint. Your body visibly shook with each breath you took. And after about 5 minutes of silence and waiting, "Lucky contestant, I have good news for you. The audience has voted for you to take a little intermission break. Please be advised, once the break is over, the game will continue." It had been a really close call, no pun intended. 52% of the audience voted for the intermission. He almost didn't make it. But he kept that to himself. A hidden wall opened up, leading to a small restroom with a couple of stalls. 5. With slumped shoulders, you huddled inside. Please remember to not take off your mask while you're using the lavatory. Also, the VIP members of our audience have access to the toilet cams. You blinked. "Wait, what?" you said, muffled by the mask. But you sighed. Whatever. This final, definitely not government legal show was live streamed to paying customers in a desperate attempt to keep the show running, so more than likely there weren't that many viewers anyways. Regardless, you needed to take off the suit if you wanted to appear as if you were just trying to take a little breathing break. And so, quickly, you fiddled with the back of it until you grabbed the zipper between 2 fingers. The fact no one was here to help you was an atrocity. Pulling the sticky suit down, you groaned as you exposed your skin. It was tickled by the cool air. Of course, you still were unaware. You hung up the suit on a hook and entered one of the stalls, the only one that wasn't covered in gore. Sitting there, you leaned back against the wall. A hand placed on your chest, you breathed in and out. Of course, you should not make your body cool down too much. Really, you just wanted to mentally work through what happened. Things had gone so quickly too. Monster Frankie had stepped in, didn't even hesitate, grabbed the first contestant next to you, and as he was gulping him down, the next he just punched and stomped on his head. Fear had pushed you forward, and you slid under the monster's arm. As you ran, you heard the scream of the third contestant being gored. And then the door had closed behind you. Ah, the rush. It would have been great if it wasn't so horrifying. And it hasn't let up until now. It just got worse every second you spent in this cartoon hell. You rubbed over your neck when suddenly the familiar loud thud of Monster Frankie's steps almost made you jump out of your seat. Your heartbeat instantly increased, all your hairs standing up. He came closer. Lucky contestant, you have 2 more minutes! Then why was this thing here? You thought. You saw its ears wobble with every step as it moved past your stall. To remain quiet as possible, you pushed both your hands through the bottom of the mask, pressing down in your face as if not breathing would make you invisible. Moments later, the loud sound of a stall door being kicked open made you scream into your hand with fear. Thinking quickly, you threw yourself on the ground, your chest pressed against the cold floor as you looked through the lower crack, seeing the monster's feet a few stalls to your right. He turned to his left, and he was skipping the stall next to yours. And so you crawled into it. Just as fake Frankie kicked the door, you could hear his growls and the dripping of salvia from his gaping maw as you kept crawling to the stall he had already searched. Shivering, you stood there, only allowing yourself the tiniest of breaths. Once Frankie reached the first stall, it seemed as if you were in none of them. His fist shot towards the wall in frustration, making you jump. And almost fall back, due to the blood that covered the stall. You saw his fist covered in dust from the wall as it remained there for a moment. And then his arm retreated seconds later, hearing him leave. Slowly, at a speed that expressed just how suspicious he was of the toilets. You gulped. Lucky contestant, it is time for you to get back out there! Please remember to wear your suit. Shaking, you stepped out of the stall, looking at yourself in the mirror. You're covered from head to toe in sticky blood from the ground. You quickly walk forward, washing your arms and face with the bathroom sinks. But as you turned left to get your suit, what color left your face? The monstrous head of Frankie was hanging above the entrance. He had only faked leaving, using his stretchy body to keep looking. His black pinprick eyes stared you down. From the distance, you heard him quickly rush back. Crap. You ran towards your suit, but it was difficult to put it on due to the sticky blood still covering your chest and lower body, as well as the sweat. You only managed to pull the thing to your belly button by the time Frankie built himself up to full size in the doorframe. He grinned as he terrifyingly approached you. Desperately, you looked for a way to escape, but no chance. Probably the only reason you were still alive in this moment was just this animalistic gloating. The thought of victory. The monster's hand shot forward, grabbing you by the face. He smashed you against the bathroom mirror. You screamed in pain as you felt the glass shards pierce your back. He let go of you for a moment, allowing you to slide on the floor. But as you tried to crawl away, he grabbed your foot, pulled you in, holding you upside down before his hungry face. And then his other hand came in closer. The deadly claw pierced a mere millimeter through your skin, just deep enough to hurt and leave a minimal trail of blood. He was going to enjoy this. You squealed like a pig in pain as his hand went lower and lower until it reached your chest. You could feel your warm, fresh blood mix with the cold, sticky liquids that covered the rest of your body. It hurt like hell, But Frankie stopped suddenly. His fingers retreated, and you opened one eye. The thing was transfixed on you, as if he just realized that you weren't a male contestant. Out of reflex, you crossed your arms over your chest. That he didn't like, as he slammed your back first into the sinks. Air was pressed out of your lungs and you coughed. Unable to breathe, you croaked, an almost vomiting-like sound. Your face flushed. You could feel his cold metal claws grab the bra on your chest, ripping it off in a single pull. It was then that you fully realized what this was all about. "Hey, hey, hey, hey!" came the announcer's voice. "Hey, you!" he shouted angrily. "Please keep the show PG-13! You know how parents are when it comes to this stuff!" There was some commentary here about TV violence versus TV romance here, but you weren't really in the... But you weren't really in the mood to make a sarcastic comment about that. But Frankie didn't let up. And so the announcer shouted, "Stop messing up my..." The announcer cut off, as both you and the other Frankie stared at the speaker his voice was coming from. Oh, you didn't like that. Never mind, the viewers are skyrocketing right now. You deadpanned. Ugh, of course. How about this lucky contestant? You didn't like this at all. Since you were clearly about to die, why don't we give you a little joker? A chance no other contestant up to this point has ever gotten. All you have to do is satisfy this one for 10 minutes and you will get a death immunity for 3 minutes. The silence that followed was deafening. Your gaze shifting from the speaker to the salivating, horny gaze of Frankie. He patiently awaited your answer. Oh, just look at these viewers, I could cry. You bit your lower lip. Shaking, you raised your left hand, spreading out all your fingers as you held them up. Am I to take this as 5 minutes of immunity? You nodded. Well, let's ask our dear view. Well, I was about to set up the poll, but our lovely viewers already voted. It has reached a staggering 90%. Yes, yes, and it's just fluctuated between 89 and 91. It seems they agree with you. Such nice viewers we're having today. A moment of silence followed. And then he said, well, get on with it. Give our viewers a show they will never forget. And don't worry, lucky contestant. He has all the parts necessary for this. And this will not change your relationship. He will still disqualify you at a moment's notice, like the other contestants. You exhaled as Frankie reached for your half pulled down suit, quickly removing it without mercy, throwing you on your back, sending painful shocks through your body as there are still glass shards buried in your skin. Meanwhile, you stared with horror at the massive bulge that had appeared in his pants. Someone was eager. He picked you up like a toy by your hip, claws digging into your skin painfully. What was he? At first, he slapped you against his clenched teeth. Oh God. Was he trying to make you... Were you really about to... You pulled your mask back just far enough to reveal your lips. Shaking, you kissed his teeth. Tasting his disgusting, slimy salvia that by now was dripping so rapidly it was almost a complete flow. Sticky strings hung down his chin. He was excited. Frankie licked your cheek after he was seemingly satisfied with your kiss. 8 minutes remaining! Shouted the announcer joyfully. That upset the Frankie, and his grip tightened. You coughed, and finally you threw against the sink again. You stared at your reflection going from your own exposed body to him as you watched him take his pants off.
Hey, you watched the video until the very end. That's very kind of you. But before I say goodbye, I have to shout out all of my lovely channel members, especially my high-ranking darling stewards, who get a members-only video every month. Join the tier for just $4.99. Anyways, we have Nicolai Hatcher, Maxi Cat, Alison Watkins, Bella Mare, Mystic Jade 111, Giovanna Moretti, Twilight Mia, Angry Boxman, Hella, Anonymous Weep, and Nicodemus D. Thank you for supporting me. Also, thank you to everybody else who is supporting me. You are keeping me alive.